Albany's rock station Q103, brand new movie available on all on-demand services, including Netflix, called Favor. Paul Osborne, director and writer of the film, joining me now. The tagline for the movie is, "A friend helps you move, but a good friend helps you move a body." Two friends, old friends at that, and a bitter struggle of power, I guess you could say, because one helps the other get rid of a dead woman who he's having an affair with, and it just spirals out of control from there. Paul, to start things off, I gotta simply say, after watching the movie last night, what the hell, man?
That's the best review I've ever gotten. And I've gotten some good reviews. I think it should be in the box. What the hell?
I literally, last night, between all the moments, not trying to give anything away, between all the moments and then the ending of the movie, like I sat there during the credits and I literally, with a perplexed look on my face going, I don't know how to feel right now after that. In a good way.
Then I win. That means that I win. I like moral ambiguity just a little bit. That's my thing. I wanted to make something that was complicated and something that was human and something that wasn't as easy to define. And I wanted to show you something maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe you haven't seen recently. So many movies are so easily digested, and we get that response a lot. People, I was always worried the film would be too cerebral, but people really get into it like it's a thrill ride, especially towards the end of the movie.
Oh, well, it absolutely is. I mean, from start to finish, it's a ride. You start up here, you're going fast, you slow down a little bit, it takes you through some peaks, some valleys, and to be honest, at the end of the day, you don't really know who you like and who you hate, because it's kind of one of those things where there's no clear villain, there's no clear hero in this movie. Favor.
Yes, that was exactly the idea, was to have sort of the allegiances of which side you were on kind of pass back and forth, because it's very situational. A friend helps you move, a good friend helps you move a body. If you're helping a friend move a body, you're both sort of culpable. You're moving a body, and the other guy generated the body somehow. But that was sort of the idea, was to sort of keep you on your toes and throw a few twists in there. The film went live at midnight on the East Coast. So around 9 o'clock my time in Los Angeles, people were already watching the movie and they were tweeting about it. And around 11 o'clock, this one guy was tweeting me. I don't know who he is. It's this guy I don't know. Was tweeting me, "Oh my God, I'm shaking. Stop it, I'm shaking. I'm not even done with the movie yet. I'm physically shaking." I'm like, well, that's a good sign, I guess.
It's such a complex story, as we said already. It takes you for a ride. What was the inspiration behind it in writing it?
Well, it's funny. I wrote it for the two lead actors, Blaine Weaver and Patrick Day. If you're an indie filmmaker, you're supposed to use the things you have at your disposal and make a movie around them. If your uncle owns a bar, you're going to write a film that takes place in a bar. I had these two friends of mine that were both just great actors, and they weren't really working. And I thought, well, I can use that. I can totally exploit my friend. And so I did. That was the idea. But I wrote the parts for them and crafted characters in a relationship I thought would be interesting to put them in. I think it sort of suited their chemistry. And then I wanted to come up with a situation that would upend the balance of power in that relationship. And I decided that a dead body with the person who has less power in the relationship, suddenly having something over the head of the one who has more power in the relationship, that would be interesting. And really that's what drives the story, is one guy's got a little more power than the other one, or had more power, and that shifts, and this whole relationship spirals out of control.
Q103 talking to Paul Osborne, writer-director of the movie Favor. And at the end of the movie, you really don't know who's playing who.
Right. And that's the idea, is to kind of keep you guessing. It's funny, we all have friends. We all have that one guy that we've known, or girl, that we've known forever, that we've known since grade school or maybe high school, that we're at the same starting place in life, but really aren't in the same place now. Very different places in the way things currently are. You're still friends with them. And maybe it's mostly out of inertia or just the habit of being friends. But because they're outside of your regular circle of people, because you've known them for so long, because of that, you'll go to them for stuff or trust them with things you wouldn't trust your other friends with. And I think that's really interesting. So, with Facebook especially, now that, people you knew in junior high are suddenly commenting on your same page as your mom, and like someone you currently work with, and like an actor friend of yours, and all these people, all these different aspects of life all kind of coming together. For me, it was really in the forefront of my mind, or of my mind, is like, what constitutes a friendship? Because it isn't always having something in common with that person currently. Sometimes it's something you had in common with them 25 years ago. I think that's kind of interesting.
Q103, Albany's rock station. It's Styles, joined on the phone by director and writer Paul Osborne. Brand new movie, Favor, out now on all video on demand services like Netflix. And a really cool thing about this movie, above just the storyline and the craziness of it all, is that you guys actually did this movie, and you did it all starting with Kickstarter.
Yeah, we raised the money on Kickstarter. It was done for very low budget. We often had, as my lead actor Blaine Weaver likes to say, we often had more people in front of the camera than behind it. The crew was very small. But it was a fun shoot. You know, we shot it very quickly and efficiently. We raised the money on Kickstarter through family and friends. When you raise money on Kickstarter, the benefit you get isn't just the money. The benefit you get is you suddenly have an army of people who are literally invested in that film's future. So suddenly you have several hundred supporters, core supporters, that you can email and send things to right away. And that makes a huge difference moving forward. It's really something that you don't expect, and you're looking for the money when you start a Kickstarter, but really there's more value in that than there is in the cash. And our whole crew came out of the Kickstarter backers. We got a lot of goods, and almost all this promotion we're getting, which is tremendous, is out of our Kickstarter backer pool.
You're saying you did it with a very small crew in the sense of how you filmed. Did that help with the intimacy of the actual scenes? Because some of them are very intimate in the sense that it's just two people in a small room, and they're going back and forth. Did that actually end up helping you out?
I think so. I operated camera myself, and when you're directing a movie and you're off 20 feet away on a little monitor and your cameraman's way from your actors, there's definitely distance taking place. When you're right up in the front lines with your actors because you're operating the camera, you're right there. I feel there's intimacy there that can't really be replicated, and I really feel like we got more intimate performances because I was right up there with them. You know, we were all in the trenches with that in that movie together. And there are some really intense scenes. And I also would close sets. You know, we had, I think, a crew of 5 or 6. But sometimes if we had a really intense emotional scene, I would close it down to just me and the sound guy and really try to make it intimate and small, because I do find that does affect the performance.
Q103, Albany's rock station, talking with Paul Osborne, director, writer of the movie Favor, which is out now on many video-on-demand services. But also with iTunes, you guys are running a little bit of a special right now that if you rent or purchase the film, you get a little bonus with that. Can you tell me about it?
Well, it's funny. Right now, we have a special promotion with iTunes. Even though the movie's very intense and serious, it was a really fun shoot. I mean, everybody got along. It was drama-free. It was a lot of hard work, but we didn't have any major, tornado didn't destroy our set or anything like that. It was just a really fun time. And because we shot digitally, I caught a lot of the fun on camera. So we have this 28-minute behind-the-scenes comedy documentary blooper reel called Party Favor. And it's a nice companion piece of the movie. If you rent or purchase the film today on iTunes and you send a proof of purchase, and that can be anything. It can be an iTunes receipt. You can just take a picture of your iTunes window showing you've rented the movie, anything you want, and send it to info@favormovie.com, and we'll send you back a link where you can watch Party Favor exclusively. And it's not available to see any other way right now. So it's the only way to get access to that bonus material.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that out, because considering the tenseness of the movie, to see kind of a lighthearted blooper reel side, it might change my perspective of just watching the end of the movie.
It's definitely a thing. It's a full-on comedy documentary. As I was cutting this documentary together about the making of the film, anything that was serious kind of didn't seem to belong. It's bloopers. It's actors walking into doors and messing up their lines. We had a whole thing where the boom operator and the lead actor, Blaine, kind of had this pretend war where Blaine would always accuse him of trying to hit him with the boom mic. So in retaliation, he'd actually try to hit him with the boom mic. So it says all these shots of Blaine ducking the boom as it whizzes through frame. We have a thing with Patrick Day avoiding being attacked by spiders. Little funny things that didn't really make the final cut of the movie.
Well, Paul, congratulations on all the success thus far. A Favor, just everybody talking about it, coming out today on all video on-demand services, Q103, Albany's rock station. What's up next for you? You got any plans for a movie that you can talk about just yet?
Well, Patrick Day, the lead in Favor, and I are going to put together a movie called Small Hours. We're hoping to start shooting next year. And that's the next project on the horizon. So if there's any rich people out there listening that want to put some money into Small Hours, just info at Favor Movie.
Well, if anybody's out there with some cash, give Paul an email. Well, when doing a film like this with Favor, which is more micro budget than, say, something with a bigger budget, did that make a lot of a difference for you in making the movie?
It's certainly different. I started making movies when I was 11 on Super 8, and that's how old I am. And so I'm actually kind of more used to a small crew, because back then I was literally a crew of one, and then with the actors or whoever you get to show up with. So I'm really used to operating with a small crew. And actually, if you're making something low budget and you're making something small, your best bet is to keep it small as you can, because you can move a lot faster. There's fewer people, there's fewer toys to play with, and there's fewer people sort of to maneuver, and it makes it much easier to shoot at the budget you have. I'd like to make something bigger, but I think for something like this, it's such a small story and so intimate, keeping it small, I think, benefits the film rather than... I would rather have made it at this budget than a bigger budget, put it that way.
Well, just watching the movie, it seemed like it came out just as good if maybe you had a bigger budget.
I hope so. I don't know the way I would have gotten the same intimacy. Back to that same intimacy thing. Maybe I could have paid people. Actually, that would have been nice. It would have been nice to pay them more than food.
Since you're talking small budget, are all the scenes at the office and the house places that you either have or rented out?
The house that Kip lives in is my house.
Okay.
And my wife actually has a small part in the movie as well. So it's kind of funny being in our house shooting a movie with her acting in it. The office actually was a rented location. It's a film office, a film company office. I didn't know that. We found them on Craigslist, and they were willing to let us use their offices for the shoot. So we moved in. We had 3 days to shoot the office scene, which is 1/4 of the movie. So we had 30 pages to shoot in 3 days, and that was a bit brutal.
Wow.
And we had to also completely tear apart their office and redress it over a weekend and put it all back, because we found out halfway through shooting that the manager of the office who let us shoot there did not have permission from the owners to allow the shoot. There can't be a picture or a piece of paper out of place. Well, it's a good thing we have good memory. And we took photos. We tore that place apart. We turned it. It's a much smaller office than it looks like in the film. In the film, it's a big, office with all these different conference rooms. It's really like 3 rooms. We just kept redressing it to make it look different.
Oh, my God. Well, God bless you, brother. Paul Osborne, director, writer of the movie Favor, out now. All video on demand services. Go check it out. A great movie that I highly recommend for you. Paul, thanks for taking the time to talk with us today about it. And make sure you guys go check out favormovie.com for all the details on it. And, brother, once again, just thank you for being on the show, and have a good one, man.
Thank you so much, Wes.